There's a gas station up there.
What gas station?
The one Dad said he was working at.
Who was working at?
Keep down low and hide your face. Good morning.
Morning.
My car's on the fritz. Think you could fix it?
Sure. Master mechanic.
So's your Grandma Wicks.
What's that?
There he is, Alicia. Stick your head up.
Gerald.
Oh, no.
Here,
no,
come
no,
back
don't...
here, you.
What's the matter with you, Gerald?
Oh, Alicia. I'm so sorry. But when I saw you just now,
What?
Well, it wasn't you. It was bars, Wickstead, don'ts, Master. I just couldn't face it, that's all.
You won't have to, Gerald. But you've got to come home.
And don't worry about Alicia. She's going to marry me.
She's got... Alicia? You are? Why, that's marvelous.
And just what do you mean by that?
Well, it's... Well, you know.
I know. It's the old Carter charm. You see, Alicia, I've got a fence-smashing sister named Mona.
Is this man mad? What's he talking about?
Now, please, Mrs. Wicks, I'll try to speak to him. Now, you say you cashed a check for Mr. Gerald Wicks?
For Gerald Wicks, I cashed a check. Oh, bad rhyme.
Now listen here, Mr. Shaw. Where's my grandson?
I don't know, but I'd like to see him again. He made marvelous flapjacks.
Miss Mona Carter to see Mrs. Wicks. Carter, I knew it. Show her in.
Yes, sir.
You knew what, you idiot? Show who it.
I knew I'd remember it someday. Mona Carter. That's the name of the young lady who assaulted our fence.
Good morning.
How dare you run off with my grandson? Where is he? What have you done with him?
If you quit yelling, I'll tell you what I know.
Alfred? The girl's impudent. Young lady, you're impudent.
I'm not. I came here voluntarily to tell you that Mr. Shaw had nothing to do with Gerald's going away. He was not kidnapped. All he wanted to do was get away from this penitentiary for a while. And don't try to bully me like you did him. I won't stand for it.
You adventurous, you fortune hunter? You enticed him away.
Oh, no, I didn't. I simply told him he was a fool to let himself be shut up here by a selfish, domineering old woman. And it worked.
How dare you?
Yes, and how it worked. Oh, if you'd only seen your precious Gerald slap down truck drivers, knock out prize fighters, scoop flapjacks.
My grandson?
Your grandson.
Well, where's he now?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen him for 3 weeks.
Don't you lie to me, girl. You've hidden him away somewhere where you can practice your wiles on him.
Don't talk to me like that. I wouldn't marry him if you paid me to.
Oh, you wouldn't, huh? And why not, miss?
Because you're his grandmother.
Oh, just a minute. Mr. Wicks. Did I hear you say you wouldn't marry me?
And I meant it.
It's Mr. Wicks. Oh, good.
Gerald, where have you been?
Hello, Grandma.
And why are you wearing those awful clothes?
I'm a $30 a week garage man, Grandma. How do you like the improvement?
Improvement? Don't flatter yourself. You look the same silly idiot you've always been and always will be.
Oh, but, Grandma...
Gerald Wicks, if you think...
Windmill, Jerry.
Quiet. Now, the first thing you can get through your head is, Mona Carter, you're marrying me.
I am not. What about Alicia?
Alicia's marrying your brother Jink on the reward money.
What?
Yes, and you're marrying me, understand?
Not if you were the last man in the world. In the first place, I can't stand your family. Especially this old tyrant.
Oh, who's the tyrant?
You are.
Oh.
You calling me a fortune hunter. I would marry that pet lamb of yours if he had $50 million.
Oh.
I suppose he isn't good enough
well,
for
you suppose right.
Of all the colossal brass. Now, let me tell you, young woman, you're marrying Gerald. And that's that. Grattan, bring me that envelope.
Yes, Mrs. Wicks.
Quiet. Sit down, Grattan. Quiet. Listen, Grandma, I'm choosing my wife, not you.
That's what you think. This girl's got a will of her own. I like her. She's no milk and water, shally-dally, flip-flop, weather vane like Alicia.
Here it is, Mrs. Wicks.
Now, here it is. You see that?
What?
The hotel register. That's where you registered yourself and this sassy...
Mona's my name.
My name's Mona as man and wife. And here is a copy of a Pennsylvania law passed in 1827 and never appealed or amended. You want to hear it?
Jerry, maybe we better.
All right. If a man or woman do jointly and before competent witnesses publish and acknowledge themselves to be man and wife, and in addition, if one or both do by written record under whatever name attest this status, this shall not does constitute a legal article of wedlock, and so may be registered and recorded. Oh, there, young lady. You try and get out of that. Well, what are you standing there for, Gerald? Go on, kiss the bride. Go on, go on.
Oh, Mona. Hey, what was that for?
For taking orders again from her.
Hey, Mona, where are you going? Come back here. So, you slapped me.
Go away. I'll slap you again.
This is a fine way to start our married life.
We're not married?
Oh, yes, we are, according to a Pennsylvania law. On what grounds?
I'll get a divorce.
That you don't love me?
No.
Then you do, don't you?
Well, you needn't be so brutal about it. Yes, I do.
Well, that's all I wanted to know. still want a divorce, darling?
Well, as an old-fashioned girl, I don't believe in him. Oh, but Jerry.
What?
I was so frightened.
Of what? Grandma?
I should say not. I was frightened that you never would find out about that old Pennsylvania law.
We've ended the play. And now let's talk to Errol Flynn and Joan Blondell, who made the perfect specimen perfect. Miss Blondell, incidentally, belongs to perhaps the oldest family of actors in the world. Did you know that, Errol?
Yes, I've heard that, sir. And then wasn't there an Eric Blondell who once belonged to a theatrical group called the King James Players?
That was back in 1603. Eric was a clown and got fired from the company regularly. But he had a friend who always managed to get his job back again. This friend also made quite a reputation for himself. His name was William Shakespeare.
Yeah, I seem to recall the name.
What part of Texas was he from?
Oh.
Anyway, Joan, who was the first Blondell to clown for American audiences?
Probably old Uncle George. I have a copy of a program dated 1783 telling about a party George Washington gave at Francis Tavern in New York, enlisting George Blondell as one of the entertainers. And the women didn't do so badly either. One of the Blondell girls has been on the stage for almost every generation for 300 years. Now, of course, Mr. DeMille, they didn't all use Lux soap. That's one of the good things that didn't come along until my time. But I'm one of your biggest boosters. I've always used it for the simple reason that I think Lux soap is the best complexion care there is.
Well, that's one of the nicest compliments of the season, Joan, from one of the screen's most charming athletes. And here's one for you, Mr. Flynn. I've just seen Dawn Patrol, and my congratulations to you and Jack Warner for making it one of the finest aviation pictures ever filmed.
Thank you, sir. It was a grand show to make, and I think everyone in it enjoyed it.
Now that it's completed, you'll be sailing for Hawaii, won't you, Errol?
Oh, not yet. That's in the summer. Early in the spring, there's some things called giant tuna, which hold a sort of jamboree down around Cat Cay in the Bahamas. Joan, they're the biggest tuna you ever saw. 500 and 600 pounds. Sometimes they go out of...
Yes, I know. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, if that's the way you feel about it, all right. I was going to bring you back a tuna fish sandwich, but... Well, thank you, Mr. DeMille, and good night.
Make mine on rye, Skipper. Good night, Mr. DeMille.
Good night, Joan. Good fishing, Errol.
The original story, The Perfect Specimen, was written by Samuel Hopkins Adams. And in its cast tonight, you heard Byron K. Folger as Alfred Grattan, Lindsay McHarry as Killigrew Shaw, Alma Lloyd as Alicia, Clem Bevins as Professor Carter, Eddie Waller as Sheriff Snodgrass, Ross Forrester as Pinky, Gay Seabrook as Clarabelle, Billy Bletcher as Conley, Frank Nelson as Jink Carter, Lou Fulton as Hooker, Earl Ross as hotel clerk, Lou Merrill as announcer, Bob Burleson as referee, and Edward Marr as butler. May Robeson's new Warner Brothers picture is They Made Me a Criminal.